Hello friends, this is Sundareshan, your compliance guru. After going through the modules on board committees, let us now look at how do these committees function? What is the issue that they discuss and where is it that they discuss? All this comes under the purview of board meetings. What is a board meeting? Simply put, a board meeting is a meeting of the directors where they meet periodically to take decisions or where the decision-making process is done. Under law, is there any minimum number of board meetings that are required to be held? Of course, 4 in a year, and the gap between the two board meetings shall not be more than 120 days. That is what law says. Of course, on account of COVID, there is a relaxation in the 120-day period, and both the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI have come out with notifications that this 120 days will be extended up to 180 days. That is the periodicity as far as the meetings are concerned. Now, before even looking at the quorum, the chairman and other issues, now most important thing is the notice. Who can serve a notice? And should a notice be served only in writing or otherwise? Law requires that notice for any board meeting has to be in writing. Of course, there are standards and rules which allow for these notices to be given over email. By whom? By the company secretary, if there is one, or by any director of the company. Of course, there is a provision that any person authorized by the board can also issue board meetings, but that is more in theory than in practice, because notices for board meetings are issued either by the company secretary or by one of the directors. So that is serving of notice and mode of serving the notice. While there are the traditional methods of hand delivery, registered post, courier and other such means, what is more prominent today with the technology world that we are in is the email. So once this notice is sent, which is at least 7 days before the meeting is what a notice is required to be sent to the directors. The next comes the meeting, and in the meeting what is very important is the quorum and of course who chairs the meeting. Quorum is 1/3 of the total strength of the directors, or 2, whichever is higher, is what is the prescribed quorum for a board meeting. And of course, chairman. Now, chairman, there is a separate module, separate video that I have discussed on who can be chairman and whether it is for every meetings or whether it is for the company. So I'm not getting into details in this video. So the chairperson, I would say, is elected for that particular meeting, and the meeting starts. Of course, what is very important is the agenda papers that get circulated along with the notice. Now, there is a lot of discussions whether agenda papers should be sent along with the notice or can be sent later. Good practices suggest that agenda papers has to be annexed to the notice of the meeting. So, the board meeting proceedings happen. And of course, the third important point in a meeting is consent and dissent. After every item in the agenda, there is a consensus or a vote that the chairman puts up, where people are allowed to either consent or dissent. Of course, there is nothing called a neutral vote. Either you vote for or you vote against. And that is law. And that every director has to do. So once that is done, then the resolutions are passed, the motions are approved, and the proceedings get recorded. Now, proceedings that get recorded are called minutes, the fourth most important ingredient for a board meeting. Once the minutes gets finalized, it is circulated to the directors within 15 days of the meeting, and the directors are given an opportunity to give their feedback within 7 days, after which within 30 days of the meeting, the board minutes are sealed and delivered. Now, why did I leave out the word sign? Of course, in law, you have two deadlines for signature. One is within 30 days, you could also sign the minutes and close it, failing which the minutes can be signed in the next meeting by the chairman of the previous meeting or by the chairman of the next meeting. And that is how the board minutes get concluded. Is this the same for committee meetings also? Yes. The procedure is the same for a board meeting and for a committee meeting. The only difference being you have less number of members in the committee meetings and you have more members in the board meeting. And before I sign off, please do not forget to sign off the attendance sheet, which is very important for every board meeting. Keep questioning, keep in touch, stay compliant, stay safe. See you soon.